Shalom. Call halal YASHAWAN-BAN. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To the confusion of face joined unto our ranks, the hopefully elect, the Akwaf that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the great millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And this is my guy Bo. Bo, I don't believe, is an Edomite because of his spirit, which some of you still can't seem to grasp the fact that your parents can really actually have nothing to do with your race, your nationality. You have a false doctrine going around that both your parents have to be an Israelite in order for you to be an Israelite, which is a complete and total lie and not backed up by scripture. They like to run to scriptures that point out the fact that we're not supposed to mix with the heathen, which no one's arguing that point, okay? But they disregard all the scriptures that prove that many very important Israelites had heathen mothers, but yet were still Israelites, including people in the royal line, in the king family, in the kingly line, which the Lord himself came from. All right? And this video isn't about that, but that's going to be the ignorant point that people are going to point out instead of the information that's brought out. So I thought I'd kind of address it just a little bit. But let's remember, the 12 tribes of Israel came out of women that were not Israelite women. That's the first cut. Okay? Joseph's children came from 2 Egyptian women. And those 2 sons became tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. They became the 2 of the tribes of Israel. So that cuts that confusion. Moses' children were also from a Hamite woman. Let's not forget that King David's grandmother was a Moabite. So was Jesse not, son of Boaz? Was Jesse not an Israelite? And then we also have to remember that Solomon's son Rehoboam, who also became king of Israel, his mother also was from a heathen woman. I believe she was a Moabite as well. So anyone who's teaching that, no matter how long they've been teaching or who they are, if they're teaching that, they're going off, or they're just simply not fit to teach. Now to the lesson. The name of this video is Let's Talk About Iran, Lies, and Confusion. Okay? What it comes down is to covetousness. And America is coveting land and power, and also trying to cover up the fall and the collapse of the dollar with war. All right? Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that even a man and his heritage, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. This is what they do.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. There's a storm coming, so if it gets noisy, just bear with me. We're going to talk about Iran real quick today. Seems important. Remember in that last video I said when they push for war. Well, we're here. It wasn't a matter of if, it was when. I think it's going to be harder to sell this war because people who are familiar with the region are not going to remain silent and complicit this time, I don't think. In that vein, I would like to start, and we will start with what was told to Congress. Apparently, the regional Shia power is now sponsoring a Sunni group. Al-Qaeda is getting its support from Iran, not from other Sunni nations like Saudi Arabia and all the places they always have historically. They're getting it from Iran, even though Al-Qaeda is on the verge of embracing a Takfiri style of ideology, which will lead them to kill Shias. The Shias are now sponsoring it. I understand you guys like to, you know, fancy yourselves as intelligence professionals who lie for a living, but could you at least make the lies believable? My 13-year-old could come up with a better story than that. I understand that you're banking on the fact that Americans do not understand the difference between the various types and schools of thought in Islam, but we're going to tell them this time. Let's talk about that drone. Navy is saying it was shot down over the Straits of Hormuz in international waters. That's possible. It's possible. It is completely plausible that is accurate. There's some debate, but it's plausible. The Straits of Hormuz are a confusing place. It is completely within the realm of possibility that a military would mistake the location of an aircraft or shoot one down that they shouldn't. That's completely possible. In fact, it's happened before when the U.S. blew Iran Air 655 out of the sky, killing 290 people, including 66 kids, and never even apologized for it. That didn't start a war. But now you want us to send people into harm's way because they blew Wali's flying cousin out of the sky?
Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. What you're seeing now are the nations form themselves to deal treacherously with Esau, Edom here in America. Like he said, they shot down that plane, that Iranian plane that had 290 people on it, including 66 children. And that didn't start a war, and they never even apologized for it. It was like, oops, oh well. But they want to go to war over the downing of a drone. An unmanned drone. All right? The world is watching. The world is watching Esau, Edom, man. And they are not happy. The world is not pleased. And America is losing allies by the day. Losing support by the day. Isaiah 21:2. A grievous vision is declared unto me. The treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously, and the spoiler spoileth. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media. All the signing thereof have I made to cease. You're being exposed, Esau, Edom. Okay? Let's jump to another video. Here. Japan says Trump is lying. So let's listen to what Japan, who was the victim of this so-called attack, let's listen to what the Japanese officials and the owner of the ship has to say about this supposed attack on the Japan in the Straits of Hormuz.
If you've been injured in an accident and need money now while your case settles, call Oasis today. The application.
Immediately following that attack, Secretary of State Mike.
Let's take it back.
Well, folks, get ready for Iraq 2.0 because that is exactly what is happening today.
Oh, let's get a quick scripture. Psalm 64:8. So that they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away. Also, Mark 3:25, one that sticks in my head because a lot of these scriptures keep coming out because this is the time that we're in. And then you know what? Jake is hard-headed, and you need to say the same things over and over again. That's why the Lord would always repeat himself so many times. But this is Mark 3. I'm going to start at 23. And he called them unto him. He called them unto him, and he said unto them in a parable, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself, and he be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. And what you're witnessing is Satan against Satan. American Edomites against Russian Edomites and the other heathens.
Yesterday, a Japanese-owned oil tanker was attacked in the Gulf of Oman, and immediately
The Gulf of Oman. I said the Straits of Hormuz, Salakia.
following that attack, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo goes to a podium and he says, we're pretty certain that this was Iran. Iran is the country that attacked this tanker. And then later on, Pompeo says, well, hold up, we've got some video evidence here. And you can clearly see in this video evidence that you have Iranians planting a mine on the side of this tanker. Case closed, folks, right? Because we know our intelligence community wouldn't falsify information, right?
Ecclesiastes, the book of Sirach, 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. How many times is that scripture going to come out? Why? Because that is the way that Esau operates. Problem is that this time around, it's not working. All right? It's not working.
Except that's exactly what already happened, and it hasn't even been 24 hours. This morning, the owner of that tanker, Japanese business owner by the name of Yukaka Katara, came out and said, not in as harsh of words as I'm about to use, but this is the gist of what he said, the U.S. is lying about this. First of all, the video they showed was actually in reverse. They weren't putting the mine on the ship. Those were the rescuers removing it so that it didn't explode and cause further damage. Second of all, the area where Mike Pompeo said the ship was struck, it was actually the opposite side. And it came from the air, not from the sea. So basically, Mr. Katara comes out and says, hey, everything Mike Pompeo and the United States is saying right now that Iran allegedly did to my ship, it's not true. They're lying. Folks, they're lying. And what's great about this, though, and I know that's a weird thing to say, everybody knew Pompeo was lying about this prior to Mr. Katara coming out and telling us this.
Ooh, that's fine.
I mean, Iran is the one that sent their military out there to rescue these sailors. 44 of them rescued from that ship by Iran. That's not exactly something that a country that's trying to bomb you into oblivion would do. Not to mention the fact that at the time this bombing took place, you had the Japanese Prime Minister sitting with Iran's leader, Ayatollah Al-Khamenei, trying to work out some kind of peace, trying to ease tensions, trying to get Iran and the United States talking again so that no conflict would happen. Iran was open to it.
See, Esau's being made bare. He said everyone knew it. Everyone. All right? This is Isaiah 47. And let's start at verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no longer be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. And I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Your shame is being seen. Your lies is being seen, man. And the nations are gathering against you with great swords. Nations that were not nuclear powered are all of a sudden nuclear powered. And they're coming up against America, which is Babylon the Great. Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Abashai Bashem Wakak Wadash Wa Abba Babal.